What's going on, creative people? This is Creativity is an Idea podcast, and I am your host, Pyeric. And today I'm very pleased to present to you Will Saxman Smith, who is a good friend of mine. I've known him for almost 2 years now, or almost 3 years. I would say 3 years now. And it has been a great joy knowing him. He's an entertainer, he dances, and also he fights sometimes because I remember he was trying to teach me how to defend and stuff, and boy, it, he slightly beat me up, and the other guy too. What was his name? I forgot. He was too rough. Anyway, with that all aside, he's a great friend of mine, and he's a creative person, an entertainer, and that's why I would like him to sort of talk about himself. So, Will, tell me. I would like to hear from the horse's mouth. Who are you, Will? Just tell me. Oh, tell them.
Well, besides being Will Saxman Smith and performer, or what people see usually, I am very, a very intellectual, I will say, savvy.
Hmm.
Person who loves professionalism and a person who loves to be themselves.
Hmm.
And I put my goals first a lot of times, and I also put, you know, I put myself in a situation to where I don't have to fall and keep falling and not be able to get up. Every time you fall, you want to get up. So you strive and you work hard enough so when you get there, you can tell other people, hey, this is what you do, not to fall back. You have to be very mindful of the company you keep. You have to be yourself. You have to be who you are. And I am who I am as a person. And that's what people should strive to do and to be.
Hmm.
So that's, who I am is who I am.
To be
And to
yourself.
be myself.
That is excellent. So one more thing another thing I would like to know is I know you personally,
hmm
and I wish I knew you when you were young. So tell me, how was your childhood like?
My childhood was very different than a lot of other people's childhood. At one point, went to regular after school. There was hard times, there were fun times. Went to art school. I was introduced into art at an early age. My childhood was crazy. My mom always raised me around powerful people, so she taught me who I was as a black man,
Hmm.
but not just black, as a Nubian man,
Hmm.
who I actually am, and who my family actually are, and how strength in the mind and believing in the spiritual is everything.
Hmm.
And your brothers, your family, that's your friends, and your friends that you really have that are good friends, you treat them as family. So when I was growing up, a lot of times I would have to be able to talk to people in a way where they feel comfortable with being themselves, because it's about being yourself. So you have to be comfortable with yourself first to be able to understand that nobody's perfect. So my mom raised me up around a lot of musicians, a lot of dancers, a lot of entertainers. We did extra work as children, on movie sets and acting sets.
Hmm.
I did studio rehearsals with big bands, or even by myself, creating my own music. Mom was my manager for a while.
Hmm.
My uncle was my manager for a while. My brothers are all gifted too, so we were running around the house having a good time, fighting, play fighting for real, like kicking each other's butts, like for real. Seeing my cousins, people in my life, I thank everybody for being in my life, whether they made me mad, or whether they thought they did, or try to, do me wrong ever.
Hmm.
Still, they were a part of my life somehow. So I thank people, for being people, no matter who they are. And as far as, growing up in predicaments that was hard, I even, I take a lot from that. I take a lot from coming from a place where, I didn't have a lot at the time,
Hmm.
to building myself up to make a lot, to make myself into something. Mom always said, be better than me, be stronger than me, Be stronger than I was at your age.
Mm-hmm.
Be smarter. Take the chances you need to take. So growing up, I took those chances and I helped out, with my mom and, house, and even still till this day, I
Uh-huh.
keep my priorities straight to where my 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 house, the my brothers, the family, we're a family, we're tight.
Uh-huh.
We carry that on. We keep that mindset. And we keep with the people that we really care about, we keep them close. A lot of times we don't, give, 23 chances to everybody. There's a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
There's a barrier of realization, and a lot of people come and go in your life. If they do bad things in your life, sometimes that could take away from you doing the right thing. So in short words, be mindful of the company you keep.
Okay, that is wonderful. So I think your childhood has molded you to become who you are now
Hmm.
in some way. That is excellent, Will. And I want to know, you said you grew up in some predicaments that were hard in a way.
Hmm.
And I want to know, not just based on hard things that happened to you,
Yeah,
but also good stuff. Tell me what event that really happened to you, which you would never forget up to this date,
man. What event?
good or bad.
Good or bad? Um, I'm gonna mention a good event. I'm gonna mention another event too, but this event was something that I never, would have, thought would have
Mm-hmm.
happened. So when I was younger,
Uh-huh.
it was one of it was traumatizing, but at the same time, it was something that I could say I did it. I did it for my family. My mother,
Mm-hmm.
one day my little brother wakes up and says, "Yo, mom's on the floor. Mom's on the floor." And he's only, mind you, he's only about like 6, 7 years old.
Uh-huh.
He's like, "Yeah, she's on the floor. Something happened. My mom had a stroke." So she went to the hospital. The bad part of this is that, she had a blood clot in her head
Oh.
because of stress. So, and there are a lot of other factors why people get blood clots. But a lot of things, that happen, a lot of doctors treat it as is an anomaly because a lot of people don't know how to handle certain things. So I go to the hospital. I stand there. I watch it. That's when I felt the worst pain I ever felt in my life. I don't know. No, I was like, wow, this does not feel good. So I
Mm-hmm.
look at my mom, go over there. She's just staring at us. She could barely talk. She can't talk at all. She just got done with surgery. They had to, put her back to sleep under another sedative. So I'm sitting there looking at her. And then me and my brothers look at each other, and we, my uncle's there, and we say, man, we got a lot of work to do because what she left behind is important. She left us. She didn't die, but she was in a hospital to where she was in a, coma
Mm-hmm.
for a while. So me and my brothers, we said, yo, we're going to pay all these bills. We're going to make sure everything's good. We're going to, whatever happens, we're going to make sure that we stay tight.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time while she was in the hospital, or even in a nursery home, all I was doing was performing music, making money to pay those bills, to help pay those bills. My other brother, he had a job. My uncle, he put a lot of stuff into that.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing about this event is that, I was able to say, yeah, my mom, when she was hospitalized and inside a nursing home, I still pushed through and I still got there. And I kept God in my heart. And I kept everything that I was taught
Mm-hmm.
to believe in and do with me. I carried it with me. I prayed. I made sure I was one with my music, one with my spirit, so that when I asked, I did receive. But the mindset of this thing called the secret is if you believe it, you put things into reality, you can do it. So
That is
that's
something.
that's another question. But I remember I remember going there and, you know, to a lot of people, I don't know if this makes people happy or sad, but when my mother, when they said, she was passed away or whatever, I was sitting at home, I felt a breeze go by my face. I said, something's wrong. Dang, I could feel it. Then my uncle calls me and says, your mom passed. And my brother was called, and then it was like, what we're gonna do? We're gonna start keep doing what we're doing. We're gonna keep hitting on the house. We're gonna keep each other tight
Mm-hmm.
as brothers,
Uh-huh.
as family.
How many brothers do you have?
Five. It's
Five.
five of us. It's five of us. And my mom, she, we're all blood brothers. It's all like the same dad. And the crazy thing is, growing up, my dad wasn't there. So, as an older brother, your responsibilities are very different, especially in a situation like this. Because, a lot of your brothers look up to you. Even if they don't, you still do things that you have to do for them because you do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, when they needed money to get on the school bus, I made sure I had it. When they needed food, you know what? I had to get food.
Mm-hmm.
When my other brother, he had his job, he sacrificed a lot too. And that's why that was my childhood. Also, that was one of the biggest events that I will never forget.
Never forget.
Never forget. I will never forget because that changed a lot of my perception of that helped mold me who I am right now, to be able to see people who they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
To see the real people from the fake people. The people I'm not gonna say fake, people who haven't been through it.
That is so amazing. Yeah. I can resonate with you in some way, not
Mm-hmm.
my mom, but an uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just think about what he told you and things he said, keep doing.
Yeah.
And when you remember that, it sort of motivates you to
Mm-hmm.
keep going. It's sort of a light. Like, okay, come on, man. Kick
Yeah.
yourself out of whatever you are in and you can make it through
Exactly.
whatever is going on. So, yeah, that is an event you would never forget. That is amazing.
Never.
That is so amazing. And also, right now, I want to know, like, now you're playing the saxophone, you
Mhm.
are an entertainer. And even, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
The man, he was like, "Do you play saxophone?" And he was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." And then he got to find out that that same the net
The night
the previous
before,
the night
yeah.
before, you were the one playing at the
C Lounge
QC
or
Lounge.
Social
Yeah.
Club.
And
Yeah.
he was like, I was in the corner. You was like, you were in the corner chilling.
Yeah.
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 So people love a duo, and I keep saying this on this show. People do love doers. So if
Yeah.
you do, people will love you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you and tell the audience, when did you get the idea, or how did you get the idea to start playing the saxophone?
I got the idea about 13 years ago. And I was sitting in class.
Mm-hmm.
And my teacher was like, "Look, you're in music class now. This is a curriculum. You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's imperative that you play an instrument. And you play an instrument that could, make you some, a decent career. Say if you want to stick to it." So I was like, "Shoot, I'll be a drummer. Go ahead and go back there, because, mind you, in any school, there are your kids who just don't give a fuck about anything. Excuse my language.
Oh, you can say fuck,
But
don't say too much, but say as many as you want.
But,
Uh-huh.
they did not care about a lot.
Oh.
It's in school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool thing. It's a thing that a lot of people do. For to show who they are to everybody else, to try to show they're cool. Hey, it's a follow suit thing.
Uh-huh.
But my teacher said to me, I remember her. She said, "Don't be a product of your environment. Show them, if you can, that you're not like that. And when you get older, when you graduate,
Uh-huh.
when you be successful, you're gonna be able to look back and be like, thank you to your teacher." So that's when I was like, all right, I'm going home. My mom said something even deeper. She was like, you can't just go play the drums in the back of the class, because you know what? You can learn that.
Uh-huh.
But right now, you know how to read music. You know how to write music. You're a kid. You're 12 years old.
Uh-huh.
Pick an instrument. She was like, there's guys like Miles Davis, John Coltrane. There's all kinds of guys. And I was like, well, yeah, I do like that saxophone on Sade. And then my mom was like, yeah. My mom was like, yeah, this is sax. She was like, I don't know what kind it is. She was like, I don't, no instruments such as saxophone like that, but it's not easy. So I was like, okay. I want a sax. So then my mom, she went to the store, the music store, to go get me a saxophone that day, and she took out of her money. She went to the music store, and yeah, mind you, this was a single mother,
Uh-huh.
and she went and she rented the horn.
Mm-hmm.
Now the horn was $1,400 at the time. Yeah, so she rented it, and I was like, okay. And she was like, you paying me back. She was like, you gonna pay me back by hard work, and you're gonna be successful. And when you are, you're gonna thank me. I said, okay. So she said, but if you want to keep this horn, you have to practice every night, and you have to work hard. You have to learn everything, every single thing about music. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. It is imperative. Jazz, any type of jazz, and you have to understand the philosophy behind music.
Mm-hmm.
The philosophy behind being a creator
Mm-hmm.
of things, to create your own type of music.
Uh-huh.
So that's when I started playing the saxophone.
Started
When
playing the
when I was
saxophone.
about 12 years old, my mom
12
said,
years
"Yeah,
old.
yep,
Wow. That is quite unique.
yeah,
Quite unique, yeah. You can play the drums at the back of the class. You gotta pick an instrument. Yeah.
yeah,
You weren't just learning it, but you wanted to create something more.
yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So right now you play saxophone.
hmm
Tell me, who is your idol? Who do you consider as your
Well, I don't have an idol
idol?
because I don't believe in the word. I idolize anybody. I don't believe in ideology other than God.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the person I am. I'll explain myself instead of just saying it. The whole point behind the ideology, when you say you look at somebody as an idol, is because a lot of times people want to be like that person, or they sometimes worship that person as in for their craft.
Mm-hmm.
Me growing up, I was like, look, if I just be like this guy and that's it, look, I'm just gonna be like that guy and that's it. I'm not gonna be anything else other than that guy. Or this artist or that artist going to be just like them. See, but being an artist is you creating something,
Mm-hmm.
like a masterpiece. So I'm explaining my philosophy behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you asked the question about idol, my philosophy is that as a creator of music, you can create whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want. There are really no rules and boundaries as in this free world that we live in, because around us a lot of things that was created out of nothing but an idea,
Mm-hmm.
which molded and shaped everything we have now.
Mm-hmm.
A laptop, people had to build boards, and they had to do a lot of circuitry to be able to get things downsized, to make a
Mhm.
laptop. And there were blueprints after blueprints, and even math created to be able to tell us how big this is or small this is or what angle of dissension this is. And they use formulas to be able to formulate things so that we can understand how things work,
Mhm.
even air,
Okay.
gases. So I said to myself, hey, if you do that with music, you'll be fine. You have to be able to explain yourself and explain what you're doing and how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to explain it, you have to have a mind that's almost free thinking. Well, more so free thinking, I would say that. But at the same time, you have to be focused on understanding your craft. So understanding my craft was, I said, there are many different musicians that took music from all throughout the world.
Mm-hmm.
Different scales and different charts of different notes added onto scales to make things sound different, and they use that with their ear. They
Mm-hmm.
use that to be able to create a type of music that's good for the people listening to it, so that they can try to understand where they're coming from. Their art piece,
Yeah.
like Charlie Parker, he did bebop. But he stayed in his room all day, every day, practicing, practicing, practicing. That's what I did as a kid. I didn't have fun with the kids, none of that. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I went skateboarding. I had activities after that. But when I was practicing, I was practicing. I had hours. Sometimes I went home after skateboarding or something, or going to school or breakdancing with my crew. I went home, played all night. I mean, till 4 in the morning. I thank my mom for being my mom and who she was, because she supported that. She went to sleep. Even my brothers, they went to sleep. I was still practicing. And not only that, I started to realize, man, when you show up to a jazz venue, the guys that play there, they play the chords and the progressions. They play what everybody's telling them to play. Yeah, I play that a lot too. But you gotta play for the people. You gotta give them your art,
Your heart.
your heart, and your art,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll sound good. You just you have to know what sounds good. And not only that, if it sounds good to your ear and their ear too, keep doing it.
So, in other sense, you have been your own idol throughout. You.
I wouldn't say I've been my own idol. I've been my own interpreter
Mm-hmm.
of my philosophy of how music is freedom, and music is a creative process that gets people moving, and it changes everybody's life. It changes the world. So the only person that I give my praise to is God. The only person that I look up to when it comes to believing
Mm-hmm.
is God.
It's God. And I get that is so amazing. There is a statement in the Bible, the Bible, that says somewhere in Psalm 146 or 47,
Mhm.
it says something as of like, don't put your trust in man, but
Put your
put your
trust in
trust in
God.
God, the God
And
of Jacob.
you want to hear something funny? Speaking of that, every story is a story of a bigger book.
Mm-hmm.
Because with King James or Solomon or anybody that was involved with the Bible, as you can tell, those aren't African names. Those aren't guys, from, Hebrew or Muslim or um, anything over there. But it was interpreted so that people of other cultures can
Would
feel comfortable
would understand.
with and will understand, because that's the modern way of doing things. But if we really want to understand the culture, if we really want to understand the words, go back to the land where it started. That's history.
Going back to the
So when I do read from other books. I do read from the Quran. I do read from Torah too. I've read it many times. I've read the Bible many times. And a lot of times you can open up a Bible and your verses in the Bible, when it was when a lot of stuff was taken from other things and put inside the Bible, it was taken from a lot of other scripts, our scrolls, or our books in Africa, to where now it's sized down. There's a lot of stories missing. There's a lot of guys other than Jesus missing. There's a lot of there's a lot of leaders. Let's be
Other
real.
than Jesus
Leaders.
missing.
There's leaders, and leaders help people
Mm-hmm.
because people need help.
That is excellent.
Sometimes the mind of one individual can be sick, can need healing, because the mental is the strongest thing next to your spirit.
That's
Your heart pumps that blood, and you feel when your mind is weak or your spirit is becoming weak because of a situation that has hurt you.
That is amazing. We audience, we are quite digressing
Yeah,
a little
yeah, yeah.
bit, but
Sorry.
let's get back on track.
Yeah,
We could go on and on and on
yeah,
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
one. So let me ask you another thing. Like, coming up now, at this point, you're still playing your entertainer. Was there anything that was stopping you?
I wouldn't say stopping me,
Mm-hmm.
but at a point you have to realize you're not going to be able to hang out and have a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't say you won't be able to have a lot of friends. True friends, they're people that will always be there no matter what. You're always there. But you have your own thing to where you do what you need to do. And you still, you still support what you have to support.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is people the company you keep.
Company you keep.
I've always been good with, helping people. But you got to be mindful of who you help. If they're coming in your house or if they're staying with you, whatever, be careful with that because, it could be a situation to where it's a sided view.
Mm-hmm.
You have one guy could be staying with you at your house. Just be real. And you could tell him, hey, man, look, I plan on keeping this place. I want you to pay your rent. They bring somebody else over, you will have to, you will have to be able to move through their schedule for your schedule and be able to trust that, they're not going to invite anybody over or do anything. And a lot of times there are rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
You don't bring other company over there, not unless they're paying rent too, but they sleep over there,
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful with that. I'm the type of person, I don't like people bringing other people to my house because it's my sanctuary. It's my place of zen and peace. And it's not just about people paying their rent or whatever. It's about their word and they know their worth and working hard
Mm-hmm.
to be able to, at least know some stability where they're staying at.
Okay.
So that being said, be with the company you keep because for me, I had to learn that. Not just, with my place is zen and my place of peace, but also having people around you as groups, as friends. Don't follow the crowd.
That is amazing. So, in a way, nothing was stopping you, but you had to be very careful with the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah. Very, very careful,
You
man.
have to be careful. That is something exceptional, which is a no-brainer. We all know.
Yeah, for
Until
real,
it
man.
happens, like okay,
Until it
oh
happens,
shoot.
and look, I give a lot. I help anybody if I can.
So one of the main question of this show is, what is your source of creativity? How do you
Wow.
get your source of creative?
Look, I'm just gonna put it
Emotions
on
and
God,
stuff.
man, because it just comes to me. I'm not even playing. I could be sitting down watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. I mean,
That's how it works.
that's how it works, man. It could be. It could be. I could be sitting down right now. I could just come up with something. It could be poetry. It could be hip hop. Something that has to do with hip hop. It could be dancing.
Mm-hmm.
It could be drawing something. It could be playing some music. It's a source of creativity. It's there, and it's in my mind, and it's
Good to
in my heart. It's
draw something out
Draw
of what
something
you're
out of-
seeing around you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or when it comes to music, the playing the sax.
Mm-hmm.
I just create it. It just comes up. I use my knowledge that I've gained from training hard and working hard for all these years, and put that to work. Put that in action. So that gives people a view of the hard work and the trial and tribulation of my craft.
That's amazing. And I tell you what, talk about hard work. When I see you, whenever I go to the club, yes, when I go to, yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm coming and I see you, now
Performing.
I have to all the time to say, okay, is he over there? Now go cool. Then I'm crossing over to see what you're up to, and it's all amazing. People will be passing by, they'll be dancing and jumping and taking videos and all those stuff. There's a lot of work behind that.
A
For you to
lot
be
of work.
performing that way. That is excellent. Now that you've told us your source of your source of creativity as
Yeah.
God being the one,
Yeah.
I would like you to tell me one more thing also.
Yeah.
Then we will wrap up.
Okay.
So, what do you think you've been doing day in, day out that has contributed to your gradual progress?
Day in and day out,
Mm-hmm.
I meditate my mind. I use a process of telling myself
Mhm.
every day whether I am in a situation to where, man, I feel like, nothing's, going right at that time.
Uh-huh.
You still have to tell yourself, that you can do it. You have to start to tell yourself that you are who you are, that you will never fade from that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be strong. So day in and day out, while reminding myself of that, when I wake up in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
I don't worry. I don't worry. I don't stress myself out. I try to live in tranquility.
Look in the camera and tell them.
Try to live in tranquility. What I mean by that,
Uh-huh.
don't let things stop you from what you're doing. If you have a passion, you wake up. You keep positive. Don't let the negative stop you. If something's negative,
Mm-hmm.
move away from it. If something's positive, stay to it. Because positivity, it's everything. Now, a lot of times when you have a magnet that's positive and negative, you put them together and what happens?
It becomes positive.
Now, if you put a negative and a negative to each other, what happens?
Let the universe tell. Chaos.
Nullification. Don't live your life as a nullified waste. I mean, that's it. Use your time here to do what you love, and if you love somebody also,
Mm-hmm.
put that time to love them too. And but make them a part of what you do. Even if it's, having them with you. But your craft, if your craft is everything to you, hone it, build yourself to where if you do want to move on in life and add an extra person with it, get good with your craft. Get good with yourself first. Know your worth, then move on.
Mm-hmm.
Create your own stable mindset.
Wow. Create your own stable mindset.
That's philosophy right there.
That is a cool one right there. That's a good one there. I would say a good one there. That is excellent, Will. So tell me, now we're gonna have a final, like last but one thing I
Yeah.
want to know. What do you think about your industry? Anything you want to share about your industry?
What do I think about my industry? I think about it's something that a lot of people should know about.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that a lot of people should definitely look more into. It's 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 action. That's what makes me a lot of times who I am.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to me performing,
Mm-hmm.
and when it comes to me in my regular life, I use that with music too, or skateboarding, or anything, or dancing, or martial arts. But everything that I do, it's and excuse my French, my mom always told me if you're gonna be a musician, you're gonna take this seriously, you have to eat, sleep, and shit music. So you have to be all about it. So in the company that I work for, and I've been working for a while, I've been taking gigs and doing performances and taking care of myself and working out and keeping it consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever industry you're with, make sure you have a consistency with anything that you're doing. Make sure you have a good consistency when it comes to performing, a good consistency when it comes to you getting paid, because that's everything to any artist, And I also work with the company when it comes to the artists of that company or any performers that want to perform,
Mm-hmm.
because I also consult. But that's another story for another time.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So at this point, we are going to talk about. We're just going to gossip, not gossip, but talk
Talk
about something
about something.
which you want to express, an issue going on out there, anything you want to whine about. I was about to say the B word, but no. Whine about, or you want to vent or compliment anything out there.
a
Person.
compliment. Nah, I'm just gonna be real. I compliment a lot of people that's been in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I mean, even if they, even if there's somebody that we didn't end on good grounds or something like that, or even if it was somebody that we did end up on good grounds, they unfortunately couldn't be around me
Uh-huh.
because of their life is different from mine.
Mm-hmm.
I compliment that person for being around for the time they have been. But really, who I really compliment is people that still here till today. that
Compliments.
never left, that never ran away. People who believe in themselves
Mm-hmm.
and don't stray from that. That's strength.
That's strength. People who believe in
People
themselves and
who are
don't
strong.
stray
Yeah,
from that. That is strength.
yeah.
Well, you've come up a long way. You've come in a long way. And tell me, what do you wish you knew when you were getting
Oh
to this point?
man, when I
You
was
wish
getting
you
to this
knew.
point, man, I wish I knew
Uh-huh.
that when I was younger. Now, I always knew this in the back of my head. I wish I knew how cheap technology was,
Mm-hmm.
or how the runaround to a lot of stuff. Because when you're a musician, you're growing up, they give you the, oh, it costs this much for this, and this much for this, and this much for this. But see, when you think economically,
Mm-hmm.
you can change that. You can look things up for yourself.
Uh-huh.
The older I got, the better I got at it. The better I got at planning, the better I got at business.
Uh-huh.
So, and my mom taught me a lot of business. And I don't even talk to other people about a lot of that because, sometimes when you give certain people your idea, your consciousness, they take that and flip that on you. And they feel as if, as if you don't know anything, or as if what you already, they'll tell you what you already know, not even knowing that you know it. And they try to control what you're doing. You yourself, you have to know not to let people control you.
Mm-hmm.
You control you. So you have to be strong not to let people like that around you. You keep doing what you're doing and keep strong. Everybody knows that, when you're in music, that you have to market yourself.
You have to market
There,
yourself in the music.
there's also money involved too.
Mm-hmm.
You have to market yourself. In order to make good marketing, you have to have good money. In order to have good marketing strategies, you have to grow up with the experience. If you're a musician, you have to grow up with the experience of being on stages and performing.
So
Don't fall back. Don't
don't
let
fall
anybody around you make you fall back. Because people will. People will. They use what they have, or what they say they have, for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll hang out with that person for a long time. And sometimes you could fall back because you're trying to do what they told you to do.
What they told you. And it's so funny to piggyback on what you're saying. It's just like when
Yeah.
you go to a doctor to
Mhm.
tell the doctor, oh, I have a problem with my car. And
Mhm.
you going to the mechanic and telling the mechanic, oh, I have a problem with my health. How can I fix it?
Yeah.
It's sort of irrelevant,
Yeah.
So it's very
Irrelevancy.
important to seek information from the right people who are going to help you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So
That's
that
the
is
key.
good. Excellent. So at this point, it was a pleasure.
Yes.
And is there
Definitely.
anything you like to say? How can your audience find you? And by the way, any information that he gives, I'll put it in the description so that you can take the lead for yourself. So tell me, how would your audience find you, or any last words you want to say?
Last words
You can
is
get closer to the
oh
mic
yeah,
a
oh
little
yeah.
bit.
Last words is surround yourself with positivity. I would say, wake up in the morning,
Hmm.
look at yourself, and know that even if things are hard, even if you can't walk, there's always somebody in your corner that you may not even know them,
Hmm.
that could be there for you. And if not, and if God is all you know, then thank Him for that. And work on being yourself and knowing your spirituality and knowing who you are and know why you're here. Don't be afraid to be comfortable with yourself. Don't be afraid to be by yourself. Don't be afraid to not have anybody with you. Be positive. And if there is somebody in your life, let them know the same thing. Let them know your ethic. Let them know your work ethic. Don't let anybody stop you. Keep going hard as much as you can. And the way that you can definitely find me on anything like Instagram, Facebook, my name is Will Saxman Smith. That's simple. Will Saxman Smith, 2017 on Instagram. Facebook, Will Saxman Smith.
Uh-huh.
That's it. On Google, look up Will Saxman Smith. And all the places that a lot of places that performed at, certain information online for Spotify, Amazon.com. There's a ringtone on Amazon and Spotify that you can download for Will Saxman Smith. But at the same time, you don't take anything from this. Take that from me. Keep positive and follow your craft and hone your skills and make yourself a better you.
That was amazing. Make yourself a better you. Will Saxman Smith. It was a pleasure
You too, bro.
speaking with you, and thanks to the audience sharing their time with us wherever you are.
Wherever.
It was amazing. I hope you all get some nuggets out of this. I don't know how many times I've said this, but get some nuggets out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Will. I really
Definitely.
appreciate you being here for the audience.
Always.
And as always, this is Creativity is an Idea podcast, a source of creativity for creative people. And I am your host, Pyeric. It was a pleasure. Take care of yourself and stay blessed. All of you out there, watching or listening. Fuck me, holy grail.